when we look at this example, this is try it number 5 on page 567. The left side looks like this. And I hope that you recognize this from when we were talking about simply simplifying these identities, these expressions. We mentioned that if we had something on the bottom that had addition or subtraction in it, it might be a good idea to rationalize or use the conjugate. This is found in our first video in this lesson too. It talks about using the conjugate. This is one that this would be appropriate for because of the way the denominator looks. So this is the entire problem. Looks like this. So we're trying to make these two sides match. And what we want to do is take this one and we want to rationalize it. So we're going to take the top and the bottom and multiply it by the conjugate. And the conjugate simply is the opposite sign of whatever's on the bottom. So it would be 1 minus sine of theta. And so when I take the cosine and I multiply it, I get cosine theta times 1 minus sine theta. And I don't think I'll put it together yet. I'm just going to see where this goes. And then the bottom we have to distribute. So we would FOIL it. We would say 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times minus sine is minus sine. Sine times 1 is plus sine. And sine times minus sine is minus sine squared. Okay, so I've still got my top. On the bottom, this minus sign and plus sign cancel out because they're the same expression, opposite signs. So we have 1 minus sine squared theta. And if you look at your identities, you will see that 1 minus sine squared is the same thing as cosine squared. So on the top, we have cosine times 1 minus sine. And there's 1 cosine on the top and 2 on the bottom. So if I cancel out a cosine, I'm left with only 1 of them on the bottom. And so now my two sides match. So I have the same thing on the top that I have on the bottom. And that's our goal on all of these, is to make the things match.